Welcome to Unstoppable Real Estate Investing Wealth. My name is Billy Alvaro, aka the Unstoppable VA, former billion-dollar mortgage banker gone bankrupt turned professional real estate investor, where each week you'll learn the tools, strategies, systems, and secrets myself and other highly successful real estate investing entrepreneurs use to start, grow, and scale their businesses, creating massive profits, and how you can too. And we'll teach you how to put those profits to work so you no longer have to. Get ready to finally experience financial freedom and generational wealth. Now let's get started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unstoppable REI Wealth. I'm your host, Billy Alvaro, and I have a very special guest today. But before I introduce him, I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update what's happening with the industry, because what he has to offer is really going to help us. Now, we've been speaking a lot over the years about lead management, lead acquisition, lead generation, all about generating the money, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about generating leads, generating cash. But I think the changes that we're going to start seeing in the couple of months coming up, and the next year and a half, I think dispositions is going to be one of the most important factors on getting rid of your properties. And so if you've been watching this podcast long enough or listening to it, you know we're all about teaching you the tools, tips and tricks, strategies, secrets, and systems. Well, today, Mr. Paul Wakim has a killer tool. Paul, welcome to the show from Town Square, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Billy. It's great to be here. I really appreciate you having me on.
So, Paul, look, I'm super excited. You and I spoke twice in the past month and a half, 2 months about your particular software and the tool you have. Before we go into it, just a brief introduction about yourself, a little bit of your background, and I want to get right into this really cool piece of software that you have.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I graduated from Pitt, immediately got fired from my job in the marketing world, and then got deep into real estate as a real estate photographer, and then deeper into real estate investing. In 2018, 2019, I taught myself how to code to build a quote unquote algorithm to predict who was going to sell their house next. It was really a fancy way of doing list stacking that I was super proud of. It also led to some of my proudest achievements in real estate investing, but it led me to meet my co-founder of Town Square, Mitch, and over the last 3 years go through many different iterations of the business to arrive at where we are today. We started with prediction, went into the real estate or the retail real estate world, helping homeowners and agents connect. And then we went back to our roots of real estate investing to create what Town Square is today.
All right. So Town Square is not a list stacking software. This is completely different.
That's right. Not list stacking.
So let's get into what Town Square is, and then how it's going to revolutionize and help real estate investors across the country.
Yep. So like I just said, through 2020 and 2021, we ran Town Square as a retail real estate marketplace. We were helping retail sellers connect with retail agents. And then in late October, early November of last year, I sat down with an extremely successful real estate investor who at the time had just raised over $1 billion with a B to go out and buy single family homes for himself and for his company. So he said, listen, man, you're never going to be able to compete against Zillow and against these other big dogs in the industry in the retail space. Go back to your roots, go back to real estate investing and help these gigantic institutional buyers access off-market properties. So from the beginning of November last year until now, what we've been doing is running Town Square as a marketplace to help real estate investors connect with one another, which we'll definitely get to, and also help real estate investors, everyday small mom and pop real estate investors like us, connect with the largest institutional buyers in the market. Some of the stuff we've been working on that I'm sure we'll get into is really around what I said at the beginning of that sentence. That is helping real estate investors connect with one another and do deals more effectively among themselves, while also giving them access to the institutional investors. So yeah, real estate investing marketplace, kind of like an off-market MLS, if you want to think about it that way.
All right, but I know it's a lot more than that, because this just sounds like you're going to be posting houses to a website, and I know that's what it's not about. I mean, that's a very small part of it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. as an aggregator of properties, we go out, we start marketing, and we bring in 20, 30, 40, 50 contracts a month. What are the benefits? How can we leverage Town Square to maximize the profits on our deals if we want to take a portion of those deals, not turn them over and renovate them? We just want to offload them to either institutional investors or other rehabbers around the country. Give us like the real meat about what this thing does.
Yeah, totally. So I like to say that we can do three things to help with your dispositions or the marketing of the properties that you have for sale. The first thing that you can do with Town Square is you can post it to Town Square for institutional buyers and any large buyer who has signed up and created a buy box on Town Square. So you can do that first, send it to those people who are looking in your area. That's just any passerby who's willing to pay for an account and sign up to look at that specific region of the country. So you can do that. The second thing you can do, again, which I'm sure we'll dig into quite a bit, is through our platform, you can send your properties to your own buyers list directly through Town Square. So you come on, you create a post that contains the property that you have for sale. You upload your buyers list, and then you can send that post really nicely formatted to your buyers. If your buyers come back, they raise their hand and say, hey, Billy, I want to go to the showing, or I'm saving this property for later. You can communicate with them. You can sign documents with them, and you can even integrate with a digital closing company with them directly through Town Square. And then the third thing that I'm most excited about is with that same post, you can, like I said, send it out to the people that are looking at Town Square, send it to your buyers, and you can interact and communicate with other real estate investors that are using Town Square and contact them and say, hey, I want to send my deal in New Jersey to your buyers list. Will you allow me to do that? And you can collaborate. Again, I'm sure we'll get into it, but you can collaborate on Town Square to leverage other people's buyers lists and other people's success in their business to post your property to their buyers and get their buyers' attention on your property. So it's a way to really expand and put out as many feelers as you possibly can to as many buyers as you possibly can.
Yeah, this is huge. So the three-part process I want to overview again. So you could post it to the Town Square website. It pushes it out to everybody that's already on the website. You could blast it out to your own buyers list. With that blast, is it text and email or just email right now?
So text is coming, but it's just email right now. And we have some really interesting stuff that I believe is industry leading on the email side that will also mirror on the text side whenever we have text up and running.
Good. So we have to upload our list. And when we upload our list, that's private to our community, to our own company. We can share that list if we want. And now when we share, that's step number 3. We could post this through other people, other aggregators around the country, post it to them. Now, how does that work, that piece? Because that's really exciting.
Yep. So that third piece that you're referring to is called post sharing. That's the product name that we've given all these features. And the way that it works is you can kind of think of it like Google search results. You're in the business of marketing to find properties, and you know how important it is to be at the top of the Google search results. So you go into Town Square, you create your post, you send it to the marketplace, you send it to your list, but then you can look at a list of other people that are on Town Square that have their contact lists uploaded and tagged as interested in properties like the one that you've uploaded. And you can see that list of people, and they're ranked based on their performance on Town Square. And let's say you're at the top of that list, Billy, because you kill it in the New Jersey markets. So I select you, Billy, as somebody that I want to share my post with. You don't have to allow me to share my post with your buyers. You can vet me. You can vet the contracts that I have between myself and the seller of the property. You can vet the property to make sure that I have it for the right price. And then you can, at your discretion, select whether or not you want to accept my post to go to your buyers lists. That's step 1, is I select you from that ranking of like Google search results, and then you accept or decline me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that whole algorithm piece where you're measuring people on the success. Now, if I post something and it goes through your system and somebody accepts it, do I get access to their list, or it just kind of emails out and eventually texts out to their particular group? What is that process like?
Yep. So if you bring the post to Town Square and you share it with somebody else, another person who maintains contact lists on Town Square, and they accept you, it's at their discretion which one of their lists or all of their lists they want to send the post to. So they have that person who's acting as the intermediary who maintains the list. It's at their discretion on if they want to accept your property and what lists of theirs, what buyers of theirs they want to share your post to. So that way, that person who brings the buyers, brings the contacts to the platform, maintains complete control over who gets to see their buyers, who gets to send posts to their buyers, really just complete control over one of the most valuable parts of your business, your buyers list.
The buyers list is it, man. It's everything. So then how does that intermediary, that person, if they're acting in the middle, how do they actually get paid? Because obviously they're not just going to transfer it over. So is there a rev share agreement between party A and party B for when party C buys it?
Yep, exactly. So it's funny that you used A, B, and C because the way we talk about this business, it's pretty lame, I'll admit, but it's very, very efficient. The person A, we call that person Alice, and then we call person B, that intermediary, we call him Bob. And then C is Charlie. Charlie's the guy that's on the buyer's list of Bob that raises his hand and says, I'm interested in some way. So what happens is Alice shares her post with Bob. Bob accepts the post, and then Charlie gets an email from Bob about Alice's post. Still with me?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Alice for assets, C for cash. Charlie cash.
That's right. So Charlie says, hey, I'll buy this property all cash, $400,000, whatever it is. That offer that Charlie makes via Town Square, because that post was sent to Charlie by Bob, Bob is the one who receives that offer from Charlie. Alice is notified, hey, Bob has brought Charlie to your deal, but Alice can't see any of Charlie's information other than what he's willing to offer and what his earnest money deposit is. So then Bob can exchange contracts directly on the Town Square platform, like a JV agreement with Alice. He can say, hey, I brought Charlie. He's going to pay $400,000. Directly on Town Square, you can chat, exchange contracts, and sign contracts directly on the platform. And then at that point, again, it's still at Bob's discretion, that intermediary guy, remember, if he wants to share Charlie's information with Alice. Bob can act as the intermediary throughout the entire transaction and never share Charlie's contact information if he wishes to. Again, maintaining full control over the buyer if he wants to.
This is killer, bro. This is killer. Now, when you're launching, the real launch is going to happen when?
So the launch will happen on July 11th.
And how many people will, before I answer that, is this going to be a national platform?
Yes, of course.
All 50? Okay. And then is there a vetting process for you to vet guys like me that are coming on to sell the properties? Like, what does that piece look like?
Yep. So right now we're not going through any vetting process, but that's primarily because of that feature that I alluded to that we call rooms, where if Alice brings a deal to Bob, going back to our example of A, B, and C, if Alice brings a deal to Bob, Bob never has to accept Alice's property. Therefore, he never has to send it to his buyer's list. And in the Town Square room, he can say, hey, Alice, upload your contract where it shows that you're direct to seller on this property, and upload your incorporation document so that I can see that your company 123 Home Buyers LLC is actually owned by you, if that's the name on the contract that is direct to seller. And then at that point, Bob can say, all right, Alice, you passed all my tests. I'll send your post to my buyers. But as we build out more and more robust profiles and ranking and reviews, Bob will be able to leave reviews on Alice, and then other users will be able to see, hey, maybe I don't want to work with Alice, or Alice brings the greatest deals to me every single time. I want to work with her.
Yeah. So I like this. This is going to be very similar to like the Uber rating system, right? For the driver and for the passenger. So it's going to be 100% full transparency. People are going to know, if you're playing games, if you're a real dude, or if you're putting on crap onto the website.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
That transparency piece and that ranking piece is key to the success of this.
Yep. We know it. We want you to have full control over your buyers, full control over your posts. And I think that a big piece of that full control over your buyers is making sure that whatever property you're sending to them is coming from a legitimate individual, not just somebody who's a fly-by-night kind of guy.
All right. So talk to me now about the types of people that are going to be on here. You mentioned earlier a lot of the institutional larger investors. right?
Yep.
So we know they just entered our market, New York and New Jersey. They came in starting swinging to try to buy property. So give us an overview. You don't have to name the names if you don't want, but give us the types of institutional, hedge funds that are going to be on there.
Yep. So just backing up a little bit, whenever I think about the business, whenever my co-founder and I really look at Town Square, we think about it as a technology company that serves two different sides of the market. The first side is what we primarily just talked about, the suppliers, the guys like yourself that can bring properties to the platform. So we think about the supply side, and then we think about the demand side. Part of what we're putting a lot of time, effort, energy, and money into is making sure that that demand side, the side where we service the institutional investors with high quality properties, high quality data, and a high quality of service, we're building that out at the same time that we're building out this supply side service with the post sharing. So what we're doing for the institutional investors is pretty robust. We're helping them essentially do their preliminary underwriting with data and with sweat equity, I guess, to vet those properties, to really provide them an off-market property MLS for these types of properties. So to get to your question, sorry, I ramble a little bit, but to get to your question, we're working with people that are buying anywhere between 5 to 15 properties a month, up to, we're trying to work with this company that I can't mention their name right now, but they're buying 10,000 single family homes every single month. And their goal is to do that for the next 3 years straight.
Wow. What states is that company buying it? Is that national?
So they're national. They'll buy anywhere where it works, but primarily they have staff, and all of these big companies have staff in Phoenix being westmost, really. There's some companies that have San Diego suburbs that they're buying in, but really Phoenix all the way over to the southern Florida markets, and all across the southern United States. Some of the companies we're working with, they buy up in Indianapolis, Kansas City. A couple of them buy in Detroit, but primarily those Sweet 16 markets are the southern United States.
Paul, just to come off this for a second, what are your thoughts on how this whole market's going to shake out with these, these iBuyers have been around for a while. The market's starting to shift. Like, give me your insights of what you think is going to happen, not just with the market, but how these iBuyers are going to change the whole platform of what we're doing. The whole landscape, it seems like it's changing radically.
Yeah, totally. So what I'm hearing from, and I primarily do the communications with the acquisitions managers at these large institutional buyers. And what I'm hearing from them is not so much a pullback in the volume of properties that they want to purchase, but a tightening of their purchase criteria or their buy box. So a company might have a couple months ago purchased homes as old as 1950, but now they're saying we'll purchase homes no older than no older than 1975. But then they're also saying, okay, because we're buying newer houses, they're likely in better condition and we can likely pay more for them to then turn them into rentals. So I personally don't think that the volume that the very large institutional buyers are purchasing, I don't think that will change, but I do think that the quality of properties and the age of the properties that they're purchasing will change quite a bit. So I think the days of getting a property that's from 1940 that needs a whole new roof and a whole new kitchen and selling it to an institutional buyer for a lot of money, I think those are probably gone for a while. But if you get a good deal, I think that they're still probably the strongest buyer that's out there.
Have you got any indication of how they're changing their underwriting criteria to overcome what's about to happen or what's starting to happen, especially on the West Coast? It started already. I know it's starting to leak out to the East Coast with interest rates going up. The volume of houses on the market is starting to increase. What have you seen or heard from the larger buyers in regards to their underwriting criteria and how they're handling this?
Yeah, so it's definitely variable from institutional buyer to institutional buyer. A lot of these guys have limited partners, investors essentially in their fund that have put in millions, if not billions of dollars that they've just said, okay, company, go out and buy 10,000 single family homes a month with this money. They're not so much relying on interest rates. Now, interest rates still have an impact on the back end because they don't just sit with that house all in cash. They do put a mortgage on it. But yeah, I haven't had those types of discussions yet, and I don't think that it will affect the market too much. I think that the biggest thing that will affect this iBuyer institutional market is the tightening of their purchase criteria.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now you do have some competitors out there. You have people that are in your space that you're heading into their space, and they've been doing things somewhat similar, somewhat different. What separates Town Square from the other 2 or 3 competitors that are out there that have platforms that they can blast out to other real estate investors nationally?
Yeah, I think that it's what we just talked about, and that is first the access to the institutions and our focus on the institutional buyers. And then I think second is our ability to, or our focus on making sure that our users have full control over their business and over the interactions they have on our platform. I pay attention to my business a lot, and I don't really pay attention to everybody else's as much as I might, maybe I should. But I think that our focus and our conviction around the product being supportive of your business and the hard work that you've put in to even get to the point where you're putting posts on our platform and where you're putting your buyers list on our platform and making sure that you remain in complete control of that. I think that's the thing that really sets us apart from anyone else in the space. And maybe somebody will come compete with us and have a similar conviction, but yeah, I think that's it. And we're also, from what I hear, we're a lot cheaper. I can go into pricing here in a couple minutes.
I do want to get into that. So tell us about your pricing matrix. Do you charge for the people who are coming onto your site to post? And do you charge for the people that are buying? Like, talk to our listeners about what that looks like.
Yep. So we have 3 tiers, 4 really if you're a free, totally basic user. So we'll start there. The basic tier is always free. You can post your properties to our platform manually, completely for free, an unlimited number of times per month. And that's just posting them up to Town Square and hoping that one of those buyers who has their buy box set up is looking in your area for your type of property. So that's always free. The other thing that's always free is for a buyer to come and submit an offer on your property. A buyer doesn't even have to sign up for an account. So when we get into the later tiers, this will make more sense. But if you send out a blast from Town Square to your buyers and somebody raises their hand, one of those Charlies raises their hand and says, "Hey, Billy, I'm interested in this. I want to make an offer." You just tell them, go through Town Square. You don't even have to create an account. You can submit an offer as a guest on Town Square totally for free. And that will be sent to your side as the listing owner, the post owner, just as if they were a paying user, a paying buyer. So that's free, that's basic, and it will always remain that way. The next tier, the paid tier, is what we call our pro tier. And with pro, you get a lot of features, but just to avoid rambling too much, the biggest things to keep in mind with pro are you can upload your buyer's list up to 5,000 contacts. So you could have 5,000 lists all with one contact if you want, but you can upload a total of, your account can hold 5,000 contacts. And then the key here is that you can send your posts, your properties to those 5,000 contacts an unlimited number of times per month. We're not putting a limit on the number of times that you can send your post to your contacts. Now, if you're going to share your post with Bob, going back to that example, another user on Town Square, you find Bob, you can share your post to Bob with a pro account 5 times per month. And you're only docked one of those 5 quota if Bob accepts your post. And then if you are acting as Bob, where you're receiving posts from the Alices, the people that are posting properties, you can receive posts and send them to your buyer's list 5 times per month. And this is actually something that you and I talked about way back whenever we first talked. You said we should probably put that limit in place so that people aren't just signing up for only a pro account and receiving all these deals. Yeah. So getting to the point, pro is $150 a month if you want to pay monthly, or $1,200 a year if you want to pay one time upfront.
Cheap, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Knowing what's out there, I don't want to go into the competition, but
sure.
Knowing what's out there, there's some extremely expensive systems out there for like 20, 30, 40, some in excess of $100,000 a year
yeah.
to get that mega usage. So definitely priced reasonably. Tell us about the other two levels.
Yep. So real quick on our pricing structure, going back to the conviction around our product and really making this a success, we're definitely focused on making money. Obviously, we're a business, but we are a pure technology startup. We're focused on growing as fast as we possibly can. We're raising money from venture capital firms to keep the business going and growing as fast as we possibly can. So we're not running the business on the money that is coming into us from our customers. We're running the business on raising money and building as fast as we possibly can, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
The next tier, I'll get to the point. Sorry for rambling. The next tier is elite. So our elite membership is $6,000 a year. So that equates out to $500 a month, but it's $6,000 a year paid up front once. And what that gets you is, going back to the comparison between the pro, is it gets you 15,000 contacts uploaded, and it allows you to share your post with somebody else 10 times per month. And it allows you to receive posts and share other people's posts to your lists 10 times per month. And then our highest tier, we call it Ultra. It's only $12,000 a year, going back to the comparison between the other competitors in the space. $12,000 a year, and it's absolutely everything unlimited. You can share your post to other people's buyers lists unlimited number of times per month. You can receive posts to your buyers list an unlimited number of times per month, and you can upload contacts, an unlimited number of contacts. Now, one thing I want to point out that I think is really interesting about what we've created, and it's really been one of our driving goals as we've created this company, and that is, if you think about it, if you're an Ultra user, really even if you're a pro user, but if you're an Ultra user, you don't have to post your properties on Town Square. If you want to, you can. But you can just upload your various buyers lists and sit back, geotag them as the different areas that those buyers are interested in, sit back and let people send you deals. So we call that hosting your contact list. And essentially, we're opening up a whole nother way for you to monetize the work that you've put into your buyers list.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm telling you, that's the market's going right now for the next couple of years, this position. So if you guys are out there listening and you're wholesaling, you're fixing, flipping, you're marketing online, you're getting leads from around the country, monetize those leads by utilizing a system like Town Square. Like you and I have been speaking for 2 months. Like I'm all in. My guys are going to be trained up on it. My back-end disposition guy, Joe, he has no idea it's coming. So I don't want to talk about it until we actually get it. But it's, for me, it's going to be revolutionizing the way in which we get the leads in, and more importantly, how we monetize every single thing in the back end. We have a buyer's list of tens of thousands between New York, New Jersey, and I was starting to build it out in Pennsylvania and Connecticut. And if we can start monetizing that list with other buyers around the country, because I get texts and phone calls and emails and IMs and PMs on Instagram and Facebook from people that are around the country that know I'm doing business in New York and New Jersey. And they just hit me like, yo, I got a lead. You want a JV? I send it to my dispo department. They make the deal happen. We whack it up 50-50. So if we could do this on scale and we can make an additional, I don't know, $30, $50, $100,000 a month, it's gravy. It goes right down to the bottom line.
Yep. Yeah. And that's exactly the point of what we're trying to create here, is a way for you to connect with all the other investors in the industry, see who's legitimate, see who's not. Also connect with the institutional buyers as we bring those in and provide high quality service on your properties to them, and also give you a way to just monetize the hard work you've put into your buyers list in a brand new way.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Now listen, I'm big on giving back to the community of my listeners when they're on here. So what can we do if they sign up through me for Town Square? Like what kind of break can we give them? I want the money to go right back to them. I don't really care about myself. I just want them to start leveraging and utilizing it and build your platform.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I totally appreciate that. We're always trying to build things specifically for our customers. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Billy. And for your listeners, if they use the code Unstoppable at checkout, there'll be a Stripe page where you can put in the code Unstoppable. They'll get 25% off any of those packages. So if you're thinking about the Ultra package, that takes it from $12,000 a year down to $9,000 a year.
I love it. And where do they go to sign up, Paul?
Just TWNSQR.com. It's Town Square spelled without the vowels.
Drop the vowel. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
Bro, this has been. I'm excited. I mean, I've been waiting to get you on the podcast for the last month. I'm anxiously wanting to get you on. The email is sitting in my inbox. I want to get through and start going through the demos. You took me through when we had our one-on-ones, but I want to dive in, get my staff trained up, and then just start using. So this is July 11th. Is the launch?
Right. That's right. Yeah. So if this comes out before or after July 11th, look out for July 11th to be the big day. And yeah, we're really excited, Billy, and we're happy to be working with you. We can't thank you enough for all the support you've given us so far.
For sure, brother. It's going to be a good run. I'm excited to see what this does for you, for the industry, and for all the players out there who start utilizing it. Any last words, bro, before you go?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for everything, Billy, and for having me on. I really appreciate this, and I look forward to talking with you many more times in the future as we build this thing.
I'm just blown by the way you had no idea about coding, and then you became a coder.
Yeah, it was, you asked the question of what really sets our team apart, and it's all about hard work. I don't hire anybody unless they're willing to really put their nose to the grindstone and work as hard as they possibly can. When I taught myself how to code, I was taking photos for my photography company 10 plus hours a day in the car between all these appointments, talking to real estate agents and real estate investors. And I would wake up at 3 a.m. to learn how to code from a guy that I hired on Fiverr to teach me how to code in Python. So yeah, hard work is baked into our DNA here at Town Square.
No doubt. Hard work, passion, and just a drive to make shit happen, bro. Because people that are successful, I want the listeners out there to hear this. I don't want to hear that you don't have the time to go out there and learn how to wholesale or go take a course. Paul was freaking waking up 3 o'clock in the morning and learning how to code, and then going out in the field, taking breaks and trying to figure this shit out in his car as he's working. So no excuses. You want shit to happen, you got to go out there and make shit happen. No freaking excuses. Paul, pleasure having you on, my man. Looking forward to doing business with you. Cannot wait for the launch. And I'm going to give you a big, huge congratulations on July 12th when this thing kicks off.
Thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate everything. And I hope to talk and work with you very soon.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Take care, man.
Thank you so much.